Wellness Show, episode number 386.
Welcome to the Wellness Show, a podcast on health and wealth. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan, the founder of the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. Join me as we get the latest insight, tips, and strategies from wellness providers, coaches, and successful, heart-centered entrepreneurs, and much, much more. Welcome to the Wellness Show on Health, Wealth, and Enlightenment. I'm your host, Tyson Bannigan. What's up with planet Earth and what's up in your life? Give us a phone call, toll free. This is Talk Show. We're available for the next hour to answer all your questions on dowsing, energy healing, and enlightenment. You can phone in toll free in North America, 1-866-369-7464. And welcome to the show, and say good morning to our host, Laura Cool.
Good morning. Good morning, Tyson. How are you?
Life is good. And we got the sun shining here after all this rain. I thought I have to build an ark. It was really been quite soggy out here. It's hard
You
to
said
plant
that
a
last
garden in the
week.
mud.
Careful what you wish for, my friend.
Yeah, right. Well, you have the sun shine down near it. But today we have a very special guest, and we're going to be talking about Astral Inspirations by Kory. And so without further ado, we're just going to do a little introduction here. Kory Varlen is doing astral inspiration. She's been studying astrology since the age of 11 years old. She has a B.Ed bachelor education from UBC, where I graduated, an R.S.W. from MacEwan University. I don't know what R.S.W. is. We'll find out from her. She lived in Vancouver 22 years. 1971, moved to Toronto. I was born in Toronto. Oh, my God. And she lived in South America for 10 years and taught and learned with shamans there. Has done radio and television work all throughout North and South America. And she was Ralph Mayer's favorite astrologer when she was on the show on CKNW. Anyway, without further ado, let's bring her on. Good morning.
Good morning, Tyson. How are you?
I'm good.
Excellent. Lovely to hear that. Well, thank you for the invitation. As you know, we're all entangled by the laws of physics, and there's no coincidence, we know. So I'm very grateful to you that I have this opportunity to share my knowledge. And I'm basically a research astrologer, although I do a lot of consulting. And I just really feel like it's time we all have to step up our game. And the eclipse that's just happened is doing that for us. It's creating a kind of a higher vibration. We're kind of being upregulated by this eclipse that happened on June the 4th. So I'm very excited to talk about that. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, absolutely. I was wondering, so we've all been eclipsed, by our higher selves. So what does that all mean?
Well, one of the fields of research that I specialize in are the lunar eclipses. A lot of astrologers pay attention to the solar eclipses because that's the big show, right? Everybody knows about solar eclipses, but what a lot of people don't know about are the effects of the lunar eclipses. And I'm currently finishing off a 450-page manuscript that I'm going to publish on the effects of lunar eclipses because they're really, really powerful. The last one happened. The lunar eclipses are basically a fancy way of talking about a full moon. And the last one was on June the 5th. So we are in what's called an eclipse season. And every eclipse belongs to a family. And like families, they all have very kind of unique, shall we say, characteristics. And this particular family of eclipses belongs to what's called the Saros 111 cycle. It's a cycle that's been in effect for over 1,000 years. And these eclipses have a lifespan of anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 years. And what they bring on is an evolutionary shift. And if you've wondered what's been going on with the murder of George Floyd and what's happening in our society right now, everything has just, I don't know if we can swear online here, but literally things have really turned to shite in the last 3 weeks because of this eclipse. Eclipses can be felt anywhere from 2 weeks to 10 days before they hit. And the last eclipse was on June the 5th.
So
And
let me see if I got this straight. So are you saying then that what the lunar eclipse is a full moon, and the effect of the full moon is really what you're focused on, and how a powerful effect that has on us as humans? And then
Yeah.
each moon cycle is like what, 1,500 years?
Well, yes, each eclipse has a lifespan of over 1,000 years because that's just the way they roll. They roll out from the North and the South Pole and they cross the globe, and it takes them like the lifespan of an eclipse cycle. The Babylonians knew all about this, is over 1,000 years.
Wow.
And I've been studying this with my teacher, Bernadette Brady, since the early 2000s. And they have an impact. And I just want to share with everybody what this eclipse can do for all of us because it carries this energy. Imagine visiting a particular family on your neighborhood street, and this family is known for just kind of instigating and catalyzing the whole community. Like every community's got one of these families.
Mm-hmm.
And this eclipse family is like that. It just really gets people networking and socializing and connecting. And it brings out your gifts. So whatever gift you've got, bring it on, guys. And there are particular time periods, Tyson, of the year when people are really like people. I'm sure your audience would love to hear this because there's two groups of people that are really being affected by this eclipse. Would you like to know when they're born?
Absolutely, go for it.
Okay, so all of our listeners and all of your friends who are born between June the 3rd to June the 7th of any year are getting the impact of this eclipse. And then at the opposite time of the year, which is in December, people born from December 5th to 9th are also getting the full impact of this eclipse. So if you're wondering why your life may be an absolute freak out chaos right now, you're getting the full impact of this eclipse.
Wow.
And that's just not the eclipse. There's a lot of other stuff going on this week. I mean, you couldn't have picked a better time to get me on your show, Tyson, because a lot of people know about the Mercury retrograde cycles. Even healers know about this. And when the planet Mercury moves backwards in the sky, it doesn't really, but from our point of view, it looks like it's moving backwards. Everything starts to go into free fall. And that's happening this week. That's happening starting Wednesday. And I've also picked out 4 different groups of people that are going to be affected by this retrograde. So would you like to know those?
Absolutely, go take it away.
All right. So all of you people born in 1952 and 1953, so this is the older crowd. Everybody who's basically 67 or 68 years of age are all going to be affected by this Mercury retrograde. And people born at the opposite end, people born in 1990. So everybody turning 30 right now is going to get the effect of this particular Mercury going retrograde. It's just because Mercury's in a place in the sky that will kind of play you like a harp, and you're going to be resonating to this energy of what we call reworking and revising and reimagining your possibilities. It's seriously powerful stuff.
Yeah, it sort of turns everything upside down, doesn't it?
Well, it forces people to rethink, like, what do you believe? You know, what stories have you been telling yourself all your life? Like, they're probably not true. So it's a great time to look at your, shall we say, idealism about almost anything. And there's 2 more groups, Tyson. There's a group born in 1966. So those folks would be what? About 54? 54 years of age. And then there's another group born in 1978. And those folks would be about 42. So anybody born who's hitting the age of 30, 42, 54, or 67 or 68, all of you guys are going to have quite an interesting month ahead. This Mercury retrograde is in effect basically until the end of July. So even though the planet will start moving direct as we see it by July the 11th, um, yeah, there's going to be some serious conversations going on between now and the end of July about people's value systems and just basically what they think about almost everything. So, what I always tell my clients during these time periods is don't make any major decisions, do not sign any documents because you're going to probably change your mind. It's not a good time to be looking for houses, apartments, new relationships. It's time to just settle in and reconfigure your system. You kind of get a reboot, Tyson. That's what's happening. People are going to get a reboot, and it's coming in on Wednesday.
Well, that sounds pretty dramatic for some people. Luckily, I'm not in that group. And I've always been sort of fascinated by people that say, "Oh, Mercury retrograde." I try to avoid that. But what you're really saying is that for different times, it affects different groups of people. I didn't understand that. I thought we were all under Mercury retrograde. But you're saying no, there's different groups of people at different times.
Because it's like you and I right now, and Laura, we're doing a broadcast, right?
Yeah.
No, we have a frequency we're sending out. Not everybody's going to pick up our broadcast, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is unfortunate because wow, they've
Yes.
learned so much.
Yes, and so your chart is like that. Your chart is basically an energy pattern.
Yeah.
And some people will get their pattern moved. Like think of yourself like you're a radio station, and I can't pick up certain stations, and other
Right.
stations I can. And so when anything in the sky is moving, it resonates based on your energy frequency, your vibration. So as a healer, people who are, if they're empathic or intuitive like most of us are, and these eclipses and these Mercury retrogrades and any transit of any planet will affect you only if your personal energy pattern can pick up these, shall we say, what's in the air.
Right. So even if we're all empathic, it really has to do when we were born about what certain frequencies we will be adjusting to as we move through these periods. Is that correct?
Exactly. And what I love to do is I love to look at the energy patterns between people, and I
Yeah.
use the chart. Instead of cutting open a rooster to read the entrails, I
Well,
just look
let's
at the
not do that
sky.
on the show.
I look at the sky and I look at people's charts, and I can see, well, this is your energy pattern, and no wonder you resonate to your partner or your business or your friends. So to me, it's been fascinating. As I told you, I've been doing this since I was 11.
Right. So what sort of other things can we expect, with this aspirants inspirations for this week? What sort of things, other things? We got
Thank you.
lunar eclipses, and we've got Mercury retrograde, and it sounds like pretty turbulent time for all of us with what's happening, Black Lives
Yes,
Matter,
yes.
all of that.
And to top it off, because we're in an eclipse season, we've just had the lunar eclipse on June the 5th. We're having a solar eclipse on the very first day of summer here in North America. So on June 21st, when we shift into the summer season, right, the longest day of the year, we're getting a solar eclipse.
Wow, that's powerful.
It is. And so again, people born around the time of this eclipse.
Yeah.
So anybody born on June 20th, 21st, 22nd, your whole life is going to get lit up in the
Like a
next.
Christmas tree. Wow, that's amazing. So
It
yeah.
is truly. So again, this is an amazing time. There's so much going on. But I would say if I had to make a final comment or a generalized statement, we are in a time of incredible idealism. And some people are going off the freaking rails with this, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we're just seeing a lot of, for some people, very idealistic conformity, people afraid to, say what they truly mean. And then we've got the other half of the crowd that's just going berserk out there. So we're in this really heightened state of, I call it like internal revolution. And one last thing I'd like to say is that we're in the final quarter phase of the moon. And everybody should pay attention to these lunar cycles, because we go from the new moon to the first quarter, to the full moon, and then to the last quarter of the moon. And the last quarter phase of the moon is really, really interesting. And that's where we are today. Between today and Sunday, when we have the new moon, which is the special, well, the solar eclipse is a new moon, but it's a special type of new moon. So we're in this reorientation phase, Tyson. So basically all of us need to be going within and connecting to our, I'd say, our internal spiritual warriors and healers to do some really deep work. And so it's a great time to see a therapist, to see a healer, an empath, an intuitive, an astrologer, whatever, because in the next 7 days, what we've got is a sense of rebalancing, reorienting, and
Well,
just a great time.
thank you ever so much, Kory, for showing up in the show. And I know in the show notes, there's all the different ways that our listeners can reach you. And we do have in the last show of the week here, we're going to be talking about the solstice. And you've given us some precursors about what we can expect on that and how powerful that's going to be. So I think I'd like to invite you back on Friday to talk about this amazing time that we're going to be having energetically as we go into the summer. So I'd like
Can I just mention one quick thing?
Yeah.
Tyson,
yeah.
The business cycles are all on an uptick on Thursday. So if anybody's investing in the stock market, do it on Thursday. There's going to be a noticeable uptick in the business cycles of the world on Thursday because of what's happening. So just a little, I do some financial astrology for clients, and the markets are going up on Thursday.
All right. Thanks for showing up on the show. Much appreciated.
You're
Bye for
welcome.
now.
Love to see you again.
Fun. Thank you, Kory. Thank you. Bye.
Lovely to meet you, Laura.
Lovely to meet you too, Kory. We'll see you on Friday.
Hope so.
Yeah.
All right. And the topic today is, what is it today? Today is basic dowsing. Wow, that was your clues, Laura. You're supposed to be jumping on.
No, mine went, astrology, you sent me an email. We're doing astrology with Kory. Don't mess with my brain. It's so delicate.
Well, let us start the show off with about the basic dowsing. The whole thing about basic dowsing is that it is intuition. It's the training wheels for intuition, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's people start out with their dowsing rods or their pendulum, and then all of a sudden they start to wake up to their gifts and to God and being able to ask questions and get really quick answers. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about the fact that, we are dowsers here and we do use pendulums, L rods, and bobbers and all the tools of the trade. But I just want people to know that, intuition or guidance on demand is really what we want. That there's 4 basic ways in which you can evaluate your energy or to help determine where you are yourself or to answer questions or to, help clear loved ones or your clients. And that is that you can use a pendulum, you can use your body as a pendulum, you can muscle test, and you can do finger testing or body swaying. So those are so the first one is pendulum. And of course, this is a pendulum here. And we're going to show you how to use that on the show today. The second one is your body as a pendulum, which is pretty basic. So I'm not going to do it right now, but everybody who wants to learn this, just stand up.
You want me to show them?
As you stand up.
Hold on, I'm going to get something. Oh, I'm going to get a can. You know what I love most? I was just telling you about it, garbanzo beans.
All right, well, I'm talking about how to douse. Oh, I see you're going to show them about your garbanzo beans. Okay.
So I'm going to ask, is our garbanzo beans good for my body? Truth, yes or no? And see, there I went forward. And I'm doing it a little bit farther than I normally would. Normally I just go a little bit and then I'm like, okay. If it goes backwards, then no, don't eat garbanzo beans. But thank you, God, for giving me garbanzo beans. And
yeah, I thought, what's with that lady about garbanzo beans? We're trying to do body sway, but I get it. She's teaching us how to do body sway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so there you are. So if you don't like garbanzo beans, you're gonna get a no. I don't know. I think I get maybe a maybe, which would be I wouldn't be swaying at all. I don't know.
How do you get a maybe? How do you get a maybe on a sway?
Wow, you
go
just
back-
don't move. Hey, you're sort of like the dead person on the dance floor. You don't rock and roll. You just don't move. So that's the body sway. Okay, and so muscle testing, there's different ways of doing this. This is a yes when it's strong, right? And this is a no. You can use it on the edge of your finger. This is strong. This is yes. That's a no. You can use it with your tongue. You can use whatever part of your body that you want. Oh, we have our first caller on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Wellness Show. Hello, you're on the Wellness Show.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're on the Wellness Show. How can we help you?
This is Kim. I'm sorry.
You are live on the Wellness Show. How can we help you?
I did not know I was live.
But you are. So what's up?
This is Kimberly Lawson, and yes.
All right. Hi, Kimberly. So how's it going?
It's going a lot better. I just had some questions, and you told me to call you after 7 days of doing the testing.
Yeah, I asked you to come on at 11, but that's okay. You're on the show live. So yeah, so you're on day 7, and now's the time that we go through the deep clearing protocol and decide what numbers are appropriate for you to do. So Laura, just show them what the deep clearing protocol is all about for those on the show. So yeah, so if you're doing the deep protocol, you want to get hold of either Laura and I on day 7, and we cut the list down day 14 and day 21. So I'm not going to take the time on the show to do that for you, but we'll get together at 11 if you're available, and we'll go through the list and make it shorter for you, okay?
Okay.
So are you noticed, like, is Kory feeling any better?
Okay,
Or are things straightened out for you at all, or?
I feel a lot better.
Good.
I've been waking up early and facing the sun and doing the protocol, and I feel stronger and stronger every day.
And how's the house?
Feels a lot better, more peaceful, more calm. The attacks have dwindled down a lot.
Oh, great. That's so good to know. All right. So, and the little one is not having nightmares or not being,
No more nightmares.
is she over her nightmares and her concerns, the littlest one?
The littlest one.
His daughter.
I'm not sure who you're talking about.
His daughter, she was pointing up and then saying, oh, and then having problems because she was seeing things, right? That's all right.
Well,
It sounds like
me,
it sounds like everything is
but
getting better. All right, so we'll get on with the show,
yeah.
and let's
I
connect
didn't
later.
realize. I'm sorry.
We'll connect later on. So thanks for being on the show. Bye for now. All right, so there you are. Unexpected. Somebody phoning, wanting to know the next step after clearing for 7 days. It sounds like the house is a lot clearer. Sounds like everything in the family is straightening out. It's really quite miraculous that 7 days can make a big difference when you've got voices in your head and houses full of entities and babies concerned and pointing at things that nobody can see. It was really interesting when we were doing the clearing in the house, which I don't normally do live, but this was locally in town. And the cat was, so we were doing the cat couldn't leave us alone. It was all over the table where we were sitting and purring and wanting some love. So the cat was really, really feeling the energy as we did the clearing. All right, so there we are. So basic dowsing, let's go back to that topic. We talked about the 4 ways that you can do this. We muscle testing, body sway, pendulum. And so let's talk about a pendulum. So if you have a pendulum or any weight on the end of a string, we'll do even a nut out of your, out of the shop with a piece of thread will work, or even a brooch with a weight on the end of it, like a jewel. although it'd be nice to clear the jewel. So you take the pendulum in your dominant hand, right? And then you breathe on it 3 times. And what you're doing is it's the breath of life. In the beginning was the word, but even your breath, there's a sound in your breath. There's a vibration in your breath. And what you're doing is you're imbuing or putting that breath consciousness into your pendulum, right? And the statement that I'm wanting you to say is, when I use my pendulum, first of all, I'm imbuing this, or I'm aligning this pendulum to my energy. That's what you're doing when you're breathing on. Okay, I'm aligning this pendulum to my energy field. Okay, so that's what you're doing. So you could say that when you're doing the first breath. I align this pendulum to my energy field, or I and my pendulum are one. That's an easier way of saying it. I
Okay.
and my pendulum are one. Okay, so once you've done that, then you want the second one I like is when I ask a question from my pendulum, that I only want the answer from my higher self, source, or God, right? So you want to say that. When I ask a question from my pendulum, I only want the answer from my higher self or source. I'm going to say it 3 times. When I ask a question from my pendulum, I only want the answer from my higher self or source. We don't want your human mind consciousness, your monkey mind, to get in the way of answering the question. You want your human mind conscious to ask the question, and you want your intuition, your guidance, your higher self, your connection to source to give you the answer. Okay, so for yes, straight out from the belly button for me is a yes, okay? And I'm swinging the pendulum. I'm not waiting for it to move, okay? So when you do this, you say, when my pendulum moves like this, the answer to my question is yes. Straight up from your belly button. When my pendulum moves like this, the answer to my question is yes. When my pendulum moves like this, the answer to my question is yes. Okay, for a no, it's a parallel to your belly button. So when my pendulum moves like this, the answer to my question is no. When my pendulum moves like this, the answer to my question is no. When my pendulum moves like this, the answer to my question is no. Okay, so for me, I like to then go halfway between the two, which is a 45-degree angle. Okay,
Maybe.
so I'm asking the question, the pendulum is swinging, and I say, is my name Tyson? And then I stop swinging the pendulum. I let the pendulum momentum take you to a yes or a no. Okay,
I got no on that. My name's not Tyson.
good, because there's only can be one of us, Laura. Sorry, can only be one of us. All right. I mean, I do know you haunt me at times, but I thought I cleared that. Okay, so is my name Tyson? Yes. And for everybody, hopefully it's a no. Then ask your correct question. My name is whatever your name is, right? And then ask your name, is my name Laura? And hopefully I get no, and I do get a no. Okay, so that's how you do that. And if you're having quality control issues, then just go back and reprogram the pendulum again. I have a little story about that. I was working with one pendulum, I just couldn't get it to work, and I was really quite upset because I was trying to teach somebody how to do that. And it was in one of those little jewel boxes, that has the lid on it and everything. There was a plastic, there was that felt at the bottom. I lifted the felt up, and it had a different program for the pendulum. So I had to cancel the original program, reinstall the new program for it to work correctly. So it's always good if you have a crystal pendulum to clear it and to put your own energy in. Now for me, I can pick up any pendulum anywhere. I don't need to clear it, and I can use it, but that's me. So if it's not working for you, please clear the pendulum in the way that I just showed you, and that will give you a yes and no. So halfway between a yes and a no, you're swinging your pendulum, you let it go to a yes or no. If it doesn't move, it means that it's the wrong time, it's the wrong place, it's the wrong question. You may need to know something else before you start. It may be that you're not hydrated. There's all sorts of things. So some of the questions you can ask is, can I, may I, and should I? Or is there any reason why not? And if you get any of those no's, except for the last one, which is a yes, then you should leave the pendulum alone for a bit, come back, have a drink of water, maybe go for a walk, come back, and then try it again. So that's basic dowsing.
Can I ask a question? So I have clients that their pendulum just will not answer them. They're like, it's I get my answers from source, like straight up, and you and I both know that working a pendulum is new for me in the last year. So I don't really quite understand all the time why some people just don't, their pendulum just won't work. Is it just a trust thing that you trust so much that the pendulums just like react to you?
Yeah, I
Or
think that's part of it is that I just have a relationship with, I mean, that's true. When I started with a pendulum, and my partner at that time had a huge, pendulum, one of these ones, but like 4 inches, like the thing,
Mhm.
like I didn't want to drop it on my toe. It would go right through my toe. It's huge. That sucker would not move, but I was waiting for it to move, right?
Yeah,
And it's this heavy weight. I mean, how much consciousness is it going to make to have that, move?
I
So
know.
my friend went and took a course with Raymond Grace, about an hour and a half from where I live. Came back with this pendulum and is going, look at this, and doing this. And I thought, wow, if he can do it, I can do it. So,
Mhm.
I had to see somebody else to be able to do it, right? Even though my partner did it, I trusted him. I could see that he could do it. So what he did is he just, because it wouldn't move, he just took his hand on top of my hand, and the energy from his body showed my body what it felt like to make the connection with the pendulum. So if you were in my class and I was teaching you and you didn't know how to, I would come over, put my hand on yours, and invariably the pendulum would start to respond. And then the neural network in your hand and between your brain and your whatever
Okay.
would be able to be aligned. So there's no reason why you couldn't do that, you live
The-
with a client or even maybe at a distance.
yeah, I was just gonna say because the ones that I have the issues with are the ones that are online. The two that I've only had two people that they just were like, it won't do anything, Laura. It won't do anything. And I'm like, I think you just need to trust that it will. But they do stand there like this and just let it, you
Yeah,
know,
don't do that.
I'm like, you gotta, get it going, right? And then ask your question, is my name Laura? And there it goes right to a yes. So but I trust that the answers that I'm gonna get are correct, as well. I mean, yes. That
Yeah,
I
the
trust
more you do
that
it, the more you
God is
trust.
that God is answering my questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, the more you do it, the more you trust, the more you can allow that connection between you and your creator to be stronger, and
Mhm.
therefore you then trust it. So that wasn't our phone ringing; that was the other phone ringing. So there's an online course and it's for free in Academy, and I think Michael put up the links to it. It's called 4 Techniques for Evaluating Your Energy. This is an introductory 10 video course which will teach you how to evaluate your energy in 4 different ways. You learn them all, but then choose your favorite one for each circumstance. And like I said, it teaches you about the pendulum, body as a pendulum or body sway, muscle testing, and self-test or finger testing. And the link, rebranding link, will be there for you and in the show notes to go to that free course online. If you want to learn how to dowse, and then I highly recommend the More Than a Beginner's Dowsing course, which is online as well in Academy, in the Wellness Academy, and Michael will have the list up there, the link to help you take you to the Academy. It's a great course. I don't know how many videos, but Michael and I did a whole video course, and it's self-directed. It'll take you all the way through learning how to dowse, how to do everything, like how to do percentages, which are really important if you're doing the deep clearing. And also we have a free gift for you too, which is if you just sign up with your email, you'll get this sent to you, which is John Living's little dowsing book.
Wow.
And
That's
it's
free?
called, yeah, How to Ask Your Questions and Get Your Answers from Your Pendulum. Dowsing is it? Intuition technology. Did you know your heart bypasses your ego? Your heart is your direct link to upstairs. When dowsing, your heart, mind, brain team operates your nervous muscular system to give you signals. Your pendulum amplifies signals and magnifies the thoughts you send. This booklet will help you use your power of thought for good making your home healthy, locating water, and improving its quality, and helping your family have a better life. Let the force be with you. When you pray, you ask, and when you douse, you listen. This is John Living, who was one of my master teachers. John Living has been a royal engineer, a chartered civil engineer, and a professional engineer. He started dowsing in 1952, being taught as a young officer in the Royal Engineer, the Corps of the Royal Engineers. John has been executive secretary of the Holistic Intuition Society and a member of the American Society of Dowsers and the Canadian Society of Dowsers and the Canadian Society of Questers. His articles have been published in the American, British, and the Canadian dowsing journals. So yeah, this is for free, and it's, I think it is, how many pages here? Of really, it's just packed with information. Of course, it's about 47 pages. The interesting thing in here is he teaches you that a different yes and a different no. And in one of the courses that we co-taught, he said to me, even though I've learned from him, he said, well, Tyson teaches you one way, but I teach you a different way, i.e. mine is the right way. So you choose which is the right way for you. For
And John Living and I douse the same way. I love that man. I've asked Tyson to ask him to come on the show many times. But he's just not interested. He's an older gentleman and he's just not interested.
Well, he's interested, but he's in his 90s now.
Oh, he's in his 90s.
Yeah,
I
so
think he's in his 80s. Good Lord. Oh, and he's
this
so
is God's no. This is it. I mean, this is his yes,
Yeah.
which is clockwise, right?
Yeah.
And his no is his
No is counter and yes is clockwise.
yeah, yes is clockwise and no is counterclockwise. I don't use that because in the dowsing protocol and the deep clearing protocol, those are cones of energy, vortex technology that I teach people how to clear themselves, which is going counterclockwise to clear, which is like a big vacuum cleaner or a tornado going over the landscape. It sucks everything out of your auric field. And like,
I'm just gonna say this though. I tried to reprogram my pendulum to do it your way. My pendulum was like, no. It's just no.
Well, some people are
No.
just
Yeah.
weird. What can I say?
I think right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Tyson.
Yeah, exactly. So, what can I say? Some people do it right and some people do it differently. Differently.
No, it's
Okay.
any way that works for you is the right way, honestly.
But let's go back to the counter, and all joking aside, it's important to understand that whether you're rotating the pendulum, rotating it clockwise or counterclockwise, is your yes or no. The counterclockwise and clockwise motion is really, really important. So like if you took a pendulum and somebody was lying down and you took the pendulum over the chakras, the pendulum would swing on its own. You don't need to start swinging the pendulum. The pendulum will swing on its own because the energy of that vortex will create the pendulum to either spin to clear that vortex, right? Or it will be installing new cosmic energy into that vortex, right? So it could be your solar plexus or it could be your heart chakra or whatever. So when you do that down the body, you're aligning all the chakras, which is really important. The pendulum will do that on its own. So the important thing to know is when the pendulum is going counterclockwise, it's sucking the energy out, taking it right out, what no longer serves out of the auric field. And then it goes to neutral. And then you'll watch the pendulum, it will reverse and will install new energy, new divine or cosmic energy into that chakra. And then the pendulum will come to rest because everything's balanced. That's vortex mechanics. That's operates on every level of reality. So that's important to know, clockwise and counterclockwise, because it's a fundamental basis of how to clear your energy field, which is the deep clearing protocol. Right, Laura? The deep clearing protocol. The deep clearing protocol. There it is.
I love this.
Deep clearing protocol.
I love doing the deep cleaning protocol. It really, I can't believe how well it works. I just had a client that stopped for 2 days, and he called me and things were not going well. And so I went over the short clearing with him real quick and did it for both of us. And all of a sudden his smile came back and his energy just calmed right down. I said, "Now, can you go and do the long one?" He's like, "Yep, I can do it now." Um and back he went at it. Now he's back centered and doing well again. It is amazing when you stop how quickly you'll start spinning out of control too when you're still working through it. But I think almost every one of my clients has stopped at some point and been like, "Oh yeah, no, I got to do this." This really does work. My sister even said, "I don't know why this works, but it does, so I'm just going to do it." She just succumbed to
if
it.
you want to know the more whys and what fors, it would be the intermediate. It's going to be called the intermediate aspect in the wellness academy. So there'll be different levels. The basic level is the learning how to do the deep clearing protocol. The intermediate level and the self-healing will be what does all this mean, which is like 4 hours of classes that I taught on the deeper meaning of it. You don't need to know that, but some people get stuck in their head. They want to know what they are doing, but you don't need to know. You just need to do it. But if you want to know, because it make me a deeper understanding, then those 4 hours of instruction will then really help you understand what the heck are you clearing. And then once you learn how to clear, then of course you want to know how to install, right?
Yes.
So then there's another whole set of courses on the I am
I just
intention of installing.
I want to bring up Friday's class. Amazing. 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 Just wanted to say that.
And what was that, Laura? What was
was
the Friday
amazing.
class?
Friday's class was abundance and the installation of the divine mother energies.
Yes.
Blew my mind. I knew I could feel the energy before we started. And I told everyone on Friday that they had to join because it was free, right? And but I didn't know really what to expect, right? Then we started, and I help on the back end. Allow people in and stuff, and so it's this meditation that went on for 2 hours that felt like 10 minutes, to be honest. And so much has changed. I feel so much more imbalanced, and I'm also detoxing from some of it as well. But the calmness and the peace that came over me afterwards and all weekend, I was just focused. I know exactly what I want. I know my dreams are amazing. They're oh, I've said enough. Just
And
go
so
in.
if you were on that call and you had a reaction, which could be positive or negative, by the way. I mean, I get to be there running the energies with those that are, working with me, who I learn from every Wednesday and every Sunday for 2 hours each. This is sort of the bare minimum. Sometimes John goes on, Chandler runs for 2.5 hours, sometimes been to 3 hours. And I have to say, the new energies that are coming through, I can't sit still. I mean, I'm doing advanced yoga. I'm screaming all over the place. So I'm curious, Laura had a peaceful reaction to it. I know others said, I just wanted to contact you afterwards because I was so blissed out I couldn't comment. So different people have different reactions. So if you were screaming all over the place and couldn't sit still, not to worry. It just means that your body is adjusting to the new energy flowing through that it hasn't experienced before, and it doesn't quite know what to do with. So any SAM scare, which is any past life or any trauma or unresolved conflict or any damage to your neuroelectrical system, can really impede the flow of the energy, these new energies through your body, and you can have an uncomfortable feeling. So just to let you know, that can happen, and we're available to help you clear those out of the way so you can run these new energies.
Could you get flu-like symptoms?
Yeah, you could get flu. So I've had it, but when I was working on my feet, they had these amazing. Oh, I want to get one of these. They don't make them like this anymore, but it's rollers for the feet, and it rolls this way and it rolls sideways, and it hits all your points are in your feet, right, of all your whole body, And I just sort of got carried away with it, and I wouldn't leave it alone. So I did it for about an hour or 2 hours straight. Well, boy, I was cleaning through my sinuses for a good 4 or 5. There was snot everywhere. It was not nice. Yeah, absolutely. That is one of the ways that you can be assured that you're cleaning up is when you are really, having like a cold or a sinus or whatever. What did you say? How did you describe it? I crudely say snot everywhere, but what did you say? What was the nice way of saying that? Sinus problems? What did you say?
Well, I would say that I had a runny nose.
Oh, a runny nose. Okay, yeah. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have you could have a runny nose, yeah.
Love you,
Yeah.
Tyson.
So if you have any questions, don't forget the line's open 1-866-369-7464. How did you experience the Divine Mother energies? And don't forget they're still available for you anytime, $33 for that 2 hours experience.
Yeah.
Well worth it. I would say that like any installation, if you listened for that for 21 days, you would change your life, guaranteed. I mean,
Do you think we have to change? We'd have to listen to it because I've been thinking about re-listening to it, but
oh, absolutely,
but
absolutely.
I still feel like I'm kind of how do you say it? Like detoxing from it
Yeah,
almost.
or integrating it into yourself.
Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
don't know if I could do it every day, but maybe.
Well, I'm just saying that some of the energies, the more advanced ones, we were told, but this is being able to how did it go? I can't remember how John put it. Some of the top energies, if we were able to focus and run them for an extended period of time, which is impossible because our human mind consciousness gets in the way, we'd have heaven on earth. It's just that we can't, we are, as humans, have the inability to focus for any long period of time on any one thing. We get thrown off center. But that's how powerful these are powerful transmissions that will alter how you show up and what shows up in your life on the personal level and on the planetary level. So let's say the more you run them, of course, if you're still reintegrating the energy or if you're having, reactions to it, you don't want it as frequently. You want to be able to build into it. When we started running these energies, we were told to listen to these energies like 2 or 3 times on the ones that were already up and posted to prepare our body in preparation to run these energies, right? So this is something that, for example, if I taught you, we just can't take you in to start running those energies on behalf of Divine Mother just without some getting your body prepared to do that by listening to some of them over a period of time. It's sort of like an upgrade, an energetic upgrade, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I wish someone from the class would tune in and chime in and let us know how they reacted to it. Because I was so all day Friday and Friday night, I just wanted to be alone and to be quiet and just to go within and just I was just so I was like oh
Right.
it was awesome. And I'm still happy and super joyful about everything too. So I do have a slight headache today though. I think something's going on with it.
So don't forget the lines are open to answer all your questions, dowsing energy healing. If you attended the Divine Mother abundance class, we'd love to hear what you have, whether your abundance is, did you feel anything? What did you experience? If you need a clearing, I want to know more about the deep clearing protocol. What is that? The Lord keeps showing us. What does it mean and why would you care about it? If you want to ask questions of our astrologer who showed up, we can look at those questions available to ask her. I will bring her back on the show.
I liked her. We have her back again?
Sure. We're sort of doing, what we're going to say, interviews to find the ideal planetary spokesperson for the astral inspiration. So I was thinking of trying different people out to see what the perfect match is. So if you've been listening to the show and you really like what you heard, then why don't you tell us so we know? That's the only way. I mean, this is your show. We want to have you have the information that will get you from where you are to where you want to be. And if that astral inspiration was helpful for you, we'd love to know, right?
Oh, Wendy and Heather both said she was awesome, amazing first guest. So that's nice that we got some positive feedback from a couple people anyway on the show. And of course, your feelings are always important. So if you want to private message us or comment on the show, please let us know.
Yeah, and also if you have a topic that you'd like us to discuss in more detail, please let us know as well. Yeah, so I'm thinking bringing her back on to talk about the summer solstice, right? Because
Yeah.
it's gonna be a very, very, very powerful time. And it sounds like she has some insight into that. So it sounds like it'd be good. That's our Friday show, is on sacred sites. So I think it's on ceremony in the landscape. So that'd be a great time. So Eduardo said, I love Kory's energy. I love to hear more. So there you are. So yeah, so I'm getting a few votes out there to bring her back on. So yeah. Then
Did Eduardo, did you do our class on Friday? Were you one of them? One of the people? I can't remember if he was on there or not.
Yeah, I can't remember whether he was or not. I mean, there was a lot going on there.
There was a lot of people that joined us.
Yeah.
Here we go. Oh my gosh, Karen Tucker. Karen, do you want to talk, hon? She said Friday's install, I tossed and
Here,
turned.
I'll just bring her on. Okay, Karen, you're just unmute and you can say what you want to say.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can.
I just wanted to say on Friday night, I tossed and turned it like a fish. Flip, flop, stuck my leg in, stuck my leg out, could not get comfortable. And now I know, after listening, what was going on.
Yeah.
So that's how
I'm the
reacted.
same way. I'm the same way. And my partner Sarah says, get up and take some magnesium, because when I thought it was just because I was going to the gym and I would be, you know, what would you say? Well, I'd be tired from the gym, and then I would come home and then have those energies run, and I would be screaming all over the place. Now I realize, no, my body's just adjusting to it, and that's part of the process. So that's what's happening to you. I would suggest that if you have those sorts of symptoms, to do what I haven't done, and that is do an Epsom salt bath. And that will calm you down, and also to take some magnesium before you go to bed, and that will calm you down as well. It just means your electrical system is adjusting to the new energies, and you're getting an upgrade. What could be better than that?
Karen,
Yeah,
you can
that's great.
You can also go to the Float Factor in Madison and float in the Epsom salt baths. That, oh my Lord, you ever want to do that, you come pick me up. We'll go over. I love the float.
Karen, if you really, really want to have an experience in that float tank, then you need to do a quantum sound therapy session with me, and take your private sound and ask them to play it while you're in the float tank. If you really, really want to clear yourself, that's the way to do it. Now and then drink the water afterwards, or before you go into the float tank and afterwards. Wow, I don't know. We'll have to put a line around your ankle and reel you back in. You'll have an amazing experience.
I would love that. Those are all great suggestions. I do have Epsom salts and I have magnesium, so I'll start there.
Magnesium's even better. Magnesium salts, do you have them?
No, no, just Epsom. Yeah.
You can get magnesium salts from the store. Not saying that you have to get them, but I find them even more intense or relaxing than Epsom salts. But don't forget, there's different types of sea salts too that are available as well.
Okay, those are all good ideas. Thanks a lot. I was wondering.
Don't forget your rubber ducky.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Eduardo wants to share his divine energy as well.
All right. Okay, Eduardo, just unmute yourself.
Hi guys. Yeah, it was a great workshop on Friday, the Divine Mother Energies, and I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was going to be a lecture. I didn't realize. So, yes. So what I found was really nice is that when you gave us these almost simple statements. And after I'm one who asked the question at the very end, what's the difference between these type of so-called like affirmations in a way, positive statements, or but it was so much deeper than just doing them yourself, because I think what was special about it was that we were doing it in a group. It was being led by you, and it was just the Divine Mothers. Like there was times that at the beginning I felt resistance. Like I don't want to do this. I just wanted to sit back and listen and not participate. Like I felt lazy. I don't know why. But as we got into more and more of these statements, and then it just felt so good, like in my being. I can't explain it. I actually forgot that we did it, but I know that I had a really peaceful weekend, very productive, and I went very deep in journaling. And also, one of my clients also joined us. Because we had a good crowd on Friday, and she wrote to me later and she said it was beautiful, it was amazing, and she joined us about 5 or 10 minutes into it. But Laura had told her we were doing a meditation, and she caught right on. Um, so you definitely had two people, at least myself and my client, also who benefited greatly. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're
Thank
most
you,
welcome.
Marco.
Yeah, thanks to the Divine Mother for allowing us this opportunity to bring these energies from higher dimensional realms onto this planet, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, it was a wonderful class. I can't say enough about it. And that's why I highly suggest that you go on to the, is it the Wellness Academy yet? Are we there yet? Or are we still
No,
at?
no, it's still the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. But if you type in www, the Wellness Academy, it will flip you over through the link to the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy. You know, we're still in process, but I did send you the layout of what the new academy would be. And did you
No.
see that?
Yeah, I sent you it back, I said, this looks amazing. I can't wait to see more. I love the layout because it's very thoughtful and it makes sense. It really makes sense. So I'm excited for the Wellness Academy to be up and running, and also for everyone to go on and do Friday's show. Seriously, pay the $33. You will not regret it. It is amazing, and you can listen to it over and over and over and over and over. And let the divine energy meditation takes 2 hours, peeps. And I swear it does not feel like 2 hours. In fact, when he said, okay, we're done, I was like, what? No way. Come on. That hasn't been 2 hours. And there it was, like almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Oh, it was beautiful. Thank you.
So
Thank
what
you.
we're going to do this Friday?
Oh Lord, now you just caught me. What are we doing on Friday?
Well, you know, what do you want to do? What does everybody want to do? What do you want to learn about?
Oh, we don't have a class set up yet?
No,
For Friday?
we don't have a topic.
Oh, let me think about that.
Yeah. So if
Um,
you want, there's something on Friday you want a 2-hour class on that you're just pining to know, like if it's something about dowsing or energy healing or installation or clearing or
do you want to know what I really want to know more about?
what do you want to know more about?
The solstices, and like how they came about, and more about like why they're so important. I don't think people understand why the solstices are really important. That's
Well,
just
that's the
my,
Friday show. That's the Friday show.
well, right, but I think that we should have a class on it. I don't know.
All right. Well, that's the Friday show. We're going to be talking about that sacred ceremony. Well, okay. Let me think about that. Yeah, we could do something on the importance of ceremony, if that would be, or how to do ceremony in the landscape. You want to do that on Friday?
That's sure. And
I
then
mean,
Eduardo said Friday class, how about how to dig deeper, personal connection to source? Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, we could do that too. And that's a really good class. I mean, both of them are really good.
well, I think because it's such an amazing, powerful time, like our astral inspiration by Kory,
Mm-hmm.
and that I think I'm going to talk about on Friday how to create a sacred site in the landscape in your backyard.
I would love that because I want to do that in my backyard.
Okay, so let's do that. So that's the Friday class. Because, but please come on and listen to what she's going to say, what Kory's going to say on Friday, because it'll set the intention for being able to do the
Yeah.
sacred site on Friday. So literally we'll go from her into the class. We'll have an hour break in. who knows? Maybe Kory will want to join me on that class. We'll see if she's available. Okay.
So it's like creating a backyard sanctuary for yourself.
Yeah, it's gonna, if you're gonna learn about what is the power of the solstices and equinoxes, then you want a place in which you can honor that in your own backyard, right?
What a way to end the day today.
What a way to end the week.
Well, that too. But we're at the top of the hour, so we're going to have to say goodbye for today.
All right, bye for now, everybody.
Bye.
See you tomorrow.
For quality
Same
online
time, same
wellness
place.
products, courses, and services, visit our sponsors, thewellnessstore.ca and the Extraordinary Healing Arts Academy located at thewellnessacademy.ca. To stay in touch, visit us at thewellnessshow.ca. And until next time, be healthy, wealthy, and wise.